How to do basic maintenance on your SRM 2620T. This is the bare minimum for a piece of equipment that is running fine, doing okay, and you just want to keep it that way, okay? So we're going to change air filters, fuel filter, and spark plug, and then we're going to grease it, and I'll show you all that as we go along. Part numbers for this kit will be in the description, and there will also be a kit that is the Echo name brand kit. This is a Chinese kind of knockoff kit that I'm trying out for this one. This will be linked, but also that proper Echo kit will be linked. It's about 2 or 3 times as expensive, so I just wanted to try this kit out and just see sort of how well it performs. Alright, first things first, let's do the air filter. Got 2 screws, one on top, one on bottom. Just loosen them up. Don't be afraid to lose the screws. They do not come out, so don't feel like they have to come out. As you can see, they just stay in there. Pull your filter and try to keep an idea of the orientation in mind. Don't forget your filter retainer like I did in my recording. Here it is on screen for that reference. Okay, there's that. Just pull that straight out. Now I actually didn't have the pre-filter on this for some reason, and mine's really gunked up. That's not good. These Echoes, they've got to have the pre-filter. Well, they don't have to have it, but they should have a little pre-filter. Pre-filter will sit right in there like that. And then your paper filter goes in this direction. And then you can put your cover back on. All changed out. Moving on to the spark plug. Spark plug is on the top, and if you're ever wondering what number you need, it's right there on top. CMR 7H from NGK. Now, these are tough, so I'm just gonna pry it off. Just be careful with this boot, because you can tear it and you can separate the terminal. If anyone knows of an easier way to get these off, you can let me know. Yeah, so see, this is a common issue with these that are too tight. Your terminal comes off on the spark plug, and it's kind of a pain to get off, which is unfortunate. And if that happens, what you can do, see that how it came out? Just take your pliers and just stick it right back in. And if you have issues running after this issue, you'll know this is the problem. And as long as you can put that terminal back in, it will work. Got that back in there. So undo this spark plug and put the new one in. Alright, so here's your old spark plug, and then here's your new one in your cheap Chinese kit. Now, one thing I can definitely tell with this kit, this spark plug feels like half the weight, and also the metal, it just looks super cheap, which would explain why this kit is so cheap. But we're gonna gap it and stick it in and see what happens. Spark plug gap here is 0.028, which we're just a hair off. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're right there at about 0.030, close enough. If you would like it to be perfect, go right ahead and make it perfect. So to avoid cross-threading your spark plug, just set it in on the threads and go counterclockwise for a second, and you'll feel it click, or you'll feel it set in. And when you feel that click, that means your threads are seated and you're not going to be cross-threaded. Not totally necessary, but if you're worried about such things, there you go. Alright, take your boot, slide it back over. So next up is your fuel filter. Again, yours is going to look a little bit different than mine if you're using the Echo kit, but the same principles apply. First and foremost, check your gas tank. Take a little flashlight, look down in there, swirl the gas around, make sure you don't have a bunch of stuff in your gas tank. If you do, swish around the gas, pour it out to get rid of it. Take another little bit of gas and swish it around again and dump it again. That'll kind of roughly clean your gas tank out. You would be surprised how much stuff and gunk gets down in the gas tanks of these over time. While you're doing your year-end maintenance, if you're a commercial guy, it's also a good time to clean out your filling 2-gallon jug for your mix oils, because again, you would be shocked at how much stuff gets into your gas tanks on your equipment and your fill jugs. So dump the gas, clean it out with some water, let it dry, and you'll be pretty well good to go. But let's pretend like our fuel is emptied and fuel is good. What we're going to do is take an Allen wrench. Let's go ahead and pop out this. It just pulls straight out. Take your Allen wrench and fish out your oil filter, your fuel filter. Right there it is. Look at that. And now you got this nice little boot. And the cool thing about these, all you gotta do is just pull out. This little boot, you can pull it back a little bit. And on this particular one, there's a small little clip. You can see my finger right there. It's got gas, so I can't really get that much closer. What you'll do is pull back on that little clip. Then that comes off. Now leave it in place. Be very careful, don't lose it. And then push your new filter on. Gently, gently. And then take your clip and work it back down over that filter. And that's what locks your filter in place. I actually made this mistake on another older piece of equipment before I bought these, an old Echo, and I did not use that clip, and my filter fell off and a bunch of gunk got into the carburetor. So that was a lot of work. So don't forget your clip, put your boot back over it, and then you're good to go. Push it back in. Take your gas thing, you can squeeze it, and it just goes right back in. So let's look at the greasing portion of this trimmer. 13 millimeter on this bolt here. Now Echo does sell Red Armor in a tube. Red Armor is the grease that is Echo recommended. However, I'm going to use a chainsaw grease pump. The way that works, it's got a little hole in the end, and you push it and it comes out and it fills your grease head, and I'll show you how that looks. So when you got your screw out, just take your grease gun here. You can push and then watch this spring fill back up. When it fills back up, you can push again, watch it fill back up, and then you're ready. But after 2, I want to just turn this, turn it back. I'm going to give it 2 more pumps. Watch it fill up. And we'll give it 1 more. Okay. And now that should be enough. Feel free to put more. Put your screw back in. Alright. Now, the little extra mile step that I do is to grease the drive cable that goes through the shaft. Let me show you how to get into that. So on the trimmer head, you got 2 screws here. Go ahead and undo the one on the bottom. Don't go all the way out, it'll loosen it up. This one locks it in place, so go ahead and unscrew it. And now that'll start to slide off. And you can see the hole there that this screw was locking it in place with. And then that head just comes off. And now let's take a look at that drive cable. And I'll show you this little length because I just did another one of these, so I know how it looks, but I just want to show you. There's not a ton of grease on that. There's one little glob here, and then that's completely dry. And that just happens over time. And it doesn't require a ton of grease, but if you put some in, it'll be better for it. Doesn't really matter what you use, just as long as you do it, in my opinion. What I'll do is pull this all the way up. Be careful, it is very flexible, and don't get dirt on it. But hopefully you can see, maybe not. This is extremely dry. Not much grease on it at all. Alright, and then once you pull it out all the way, don't take the whole thing out and like lay it down. Just leave it in just a little bit. Take some grease on your hand, and then as you put it back in, grease it up. It's also important while you're doing this to check it for damage. This one looks really good. Truth be told, these drive cables are why I switched to Echo. All of the cables on my Stihl equipment kept breaking. I've been running Echo for the last 5 years, not had a single drive cable break. And I do the same level of maintenance on both, but those still always break. Alright, and that's it. Now put your head back on. I just slide right back on. Got lucky. If it catches, just give it a little twist, it'll eventually go back on. Screw this one back in. If you get a hang up on this screw, you're missing that hole. Just wiggle it around until you can screw it all the way in. And then tighten everything up. Boom. And that's it. Let's put some gas in it and see how these Chinese parts work. Good to go.